Hey guys, how's it going? Um, I wanted to pop on here today because today marks the day of my 1 year anniversary of quitting drinking. And I wanted to make a video about it, not because I wanted a pat on the back or because I needed a bunch of congratulations in the comments or anything like that. I really wanted to pop on here to announce it because over a year ago, someone in my life affected me in the way I hope to affect one of you out there, or many of you out there. A friend of mine, James, had quit drinking, and I saw him as such a strong person for being able to do it. And he never pushed it on me or anything like that, but he did brag about how good he felt all the time. And if I'm to be honest, I wasn't feeling very great all the time. I had thought I was living a balanced life, meaning, I was eating healthy, I was working out, I was doing all the things. I did not drink during the week. I only drank on the weekends, probably like many of you. But I needed to, I was assessing it, and I just wasn't feeling great anymore. So when I was hearing about it from James, I was like, one day I want to be able to do that. And I don't think I was ready at the time, whenever I was thinking about it. And that might be the case for you as well. But when you take one day and you flip it around and you say day one, that's all you really need to do in order to do this. And that was the hardest part. Choosing the day. Choosing day one is a hard thing to do, because in your mind you think, I'm quitting forever. I don't think that that's the best way to approach it. I think day one needs to be looked at from the perspective of day one all the time. Today's day one, tomorrow's day one. Don't look at it like you have to quit alcohol forever. Don't look at it like you have to quit alcohol for 3 months. Just look at it like you're not going to drink anymore, and take each day at a time, because that's kind of what I did, and it made it a lot easier. Now, the reason I quit drinking was mostly because, I was putting a lot of work into the gym and whatnot, and I just wasn't getting the results that I was, that I thought I should be getting for the amount of work that I was putting in. So I was talking to James about it, and he said to me, why don't you try testosterone replacement therapy? And I thought, well, that might be a good idea, because I am 47 now. So I probably am kind of losing my testosterone over the years. And what he recommended was that I go get my blood work done. So I booked a doctor's appointment and went into the doctor's, did a normal checkup like you normally do. He asked all the questions like, do you drink? Do you smoke? Blah, 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 blah. And I said, I drink, but not during the week, only on the weekends. And he said, well, how much do you drink on the weekends? And I thought to myself, I don't really know how much I drink on the weekends, but it's probably not a small amount. And when I remember saying to him what I thought I was having in the weekend, I remember the look on his face, and that look was very concerning, especially when he followed up with, that no alcohol is good for you, right? And at that point, I got concerned. So at this point, I was already reading this book that James had recommended, which is called The Easy Way to Control Alcohol by Alan Carr. I was basically almost finished the book, and it had already completely kind of changed my perspective on alcohol. In fact, when I was at the doctor's, I even said to him, I'm considering quitting, as I told him the amount of alcohol that I consume in a weekend. And then on the way home from that doctor's appointment, I finished the book. I was actually listening to the audiobook, and I finished the book. And as I pulled into the driveway, I just kind of said, that's it. I'm starting today. It also helped that I had just got my blood work done. So obviously, once I got my blood work back, I was going to change my life anyway to see if I could kind of modify my testosterone levels. So I got my blood work back, And the blood work was not that great. Like there was basically, if you're supposed to be at a number, I was either above it or below it. So in order to go on testosterone, you actually need to have all your other levels good. You want to make sure you're healthy kind of going into it. So for the next 3 months, I decided to just eat healthy, hit the gym, and stop drinking. And then 3 months later, I went back to the doctors and got my blood work done again. And when that blood work came back, I was basically shocked. Basically, all my numbers had completely realigned. And my testosterone that I got measured 3 months before at 280 had now risen to 850. So that's a huge jump. And to think that just something as what I thought was small as alcohol, beer and some tequila every once in a while, had such a major impact on my testosterone. So obviously I'd quit for 3 months and I'd already noticed massive benefits. It just goes to show you how many parts of your life alcohol affects. It affected my mind. It affected my skin. It affected my sleep. It affected my relationships with people. It affected basically everything. And after quitting for 3 months, the world seemed like a different place. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, the wind in the trees sounded different. The way things looked to me, everything was clearer. Like I said, my skin cleared up. My anxiety went away. Like basically everything I thought I was drinking to enhance became 10 times more enhanced without alcohol. And that's not something you're gonna know unless you quit. So I don't see a lot of people talking about it. So I figured I'd be the one that comes on here to discuss something that you might not understand. Maybe it's something that you assume if you quit, these things will change. But I'm here to tell you, if you quit, these things will change. I mean, my life is completely different 1 year later. And things change kind of progressively after the 3 months. You obviously notice a lot of great things after the 3 months, like you lose weight, your sleep becomes better, but just when you realize you don't need it, everything changes. And then the clarity that you have, you start to wonder, like, why was alcohol such a big part of my life? And then you think back to when the first time you had your first drink. And then you think about how the culture has set it up for you to be this focal point of life. Like you go to a wedding, it's open bar, Friday nights, Saturday nights, it's clubs, it's parties, it's events. It's, hey man, good to see you. We should get together for a drink. Like these types of things, it's all focused around drinking. And then once you read the book, if you do, you'll kind of have a different perspective on alcohol, because you're taking something that is literally poison. And this is where it might sound a little bit preachy. And like I said, it's not my intention. It's just facts. At the end of the day, they have taken ethanol, put it into a shiny bottle, given it a name, and then marketed it to you more than they market anything else. It seems like it's something that has to be a part of your life. And it's interesting because they don't market anything else like that. Like I'm sure they do, but none of the healthy things. So these people are allowed to market something like this poison in a bottle that your body literally cannot break down. Like ethanol, alcohol, your body has no ability to break any of it down, which is why it affects your internal organs so much, because as you try and filter it, it can't do anything good with it. So all this to say basically, it's something that you might have been thinking about. It's something that you might have been considering, and you just don't know where to begin. Well, the first step, like I said, is just picking the day and knowing that it's something that you're going to do. I've noticed a huge shift, especially down here. It's almost like not drinking is the new drinking. There seems to be a trend going on, but I don't know if that's just because I quit alcohol and now more people are okay with admitting that they don't drink. Because a lot of people, if you go to a party and you're drinking, you don't really pay attention that if other people are drinking. But then now that I've gone to parties while I don't drink, it's funny how many people are actually there not drinking. So I just wanted to pop on here once again to just kind of announce it and see if anyone else out there needed to hear it like I did a year ago. Because honestly, quitting drinking has completely changed my life for the better in every single way. So I wanted everyone out there to hear that, because I feel honestly like screaming it from the hilltops. Because as much as you think it's this important part of your life, where you think you need it in order to go to the party, you think you need it in order to deal with certain situations, just look at movies. I actually did this. I actually had my phone and I started to take a picture of how many times alcohol was brought up in a movie. And I just put my phone down because it was in every scene. You don't realize it, but they try and, oh, you had a bad day, have a drink. Oh, you had a good day, have a drink. Like you don't realize how much they put it in your face and normalize it. And when you step away from it, it becomes very obvious. So hopefully, if you're listening to this, this is the push that you needed. Or if you're thinking about it, hey, if Ryan Priest can do it, so can I. Anyways, I just wanted to pop on here to say that. And if you want to give me a follow and a like on YouTube here, I'm thinking about growing up this channel and possibly posting a lot more about my life in Costa Rica, kind of what it's like to live and not be drinking all the time, and see how much it impacts your life. Because when you're not doing that, there's so much more going on that you can be doing. Anyways, hopefully this helps. Talk to you soon.